Welcome, viewers. Today we are doing at the end of the year, so we will do some analysis what has happened so far. For those who have not so far joined our channel, please subscribe and also press the bell icon so you can get all the updates. Now, just to remind you, viewers, earlier in the year we had projected, not prophesied, projected American-Israeli attack on Iran and the resulting war, and that came out to be true. However, at the same time, we projected that India will attack Pakistan, and that happened also. Today, we're going to discuss what has happened since that time. And we will also be projecting what's going to be happening in Afghanistan, in Iran, with us versus India, as well as where Ukraine is heading. And also we'll watch Taiwan as we go into the new year. Here, I think we also have our host, Cher Bano, waiting in the wings. And we will get to her very soon to have her ask some questions which make me uncomfortable. So we're going to start, and I'm going to ask, please subscribe, and please press the bell icon. And if you like what you see, please share. Now we'll get into what has been good for Pakistan. Now, I'll be reading this because I'm very careful in what I've been trying to say. Pakistan has regained its pivotal role in global politics, outshining India by any standards in 2025. So that is good news for Pakistan. Pakistan has emerged also as a key strategic bridge in South Asia amid the shifting geopolitics. When you have a backing of a superpower like China, as well as America, not much can stand in your way. And that's what's happening right now. For example, Trump has given a couple of $2 billion in aid to UN, but he's made a rule, no dollar for Afghanistan. Afghanistan gets nothing. Now, they have a deficit in foods. Now, they're really going around and huggy-kissy with India. But the thing is, we'll discuss that also what India is doing through international flights into Afghanistan. But Afghanistan needs the Pakistani rice and the Pakistani wheat. So they'll have to come to terms sooner or later. We'll talk about this and exactly what Pakistan's options are, what they're going to be going for. Now, number two, the remarkable turnaround, Pakistan has claimed preeminent position in international affairs during 2025 as highlighted by analysis in global publications. And we'll discuss one. Effectively surpassing India's diplomatic momentum through crisis management and renewed great power engagement. In this case, also what we have seen is relegation of India to be geopolitically not relevant. Nobody's asking India anything. Also, Europe is diminished in size geopolitically. And also the Arab nations, which jumped around like huge big monkeys, jumped around the stage and got a lot of attention, they are also not geopolitically that relevant. So we're going to start talking about what's going to be the next one. The intense conflict between India and Pakistan served as a catalyst to project Pakistan forward. India miscalculated a huge amount and in the process got a real good drubbing militarily, and the world saw it. Unfortunately, the Indian public did not see it as such. However, there's going to be round number two. Now here I'd like to bring to your attention Carolina Political Review, a very respected international journal, has underscored Pakistan's restored strategic relevance by leveraging its unique geography, robust defense posture, and a proactive diplomacy. Now, what they're saying is this: Pakistan sits at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and the Gulf, and the Middle East, and has become a vital conduit for access and influence across these critical areas. This geographic centrality, combined with assets like Gwadar Port, has enhanced opportunities for mineral cooperation, infrastructure development under such initiatives as the Pakistan-China CPEC. Now, one of the things which has happened from an American standpoint, that Pakistan has shown skillful diplomacy during the May crisis. Islamabad rebuilt trust in Washington, leading to declarations that recognized Pakistan as a cleavage facilitating connectivity between South Asia, Gulf, and Central Asia. Pakistan acted in a very restraint, which suited both the superpowers, America and China. And it also suited Pakistan. And I think it gave India from absolute humiliation to what they had is just a lot of humiliation. Now, the economic and strategic dividends have been following swiftly from this. Now, when they're talking Gwadar Port, guess who Americans are wanting to talk to first? Pakistan, not Egypt, not Turkey, not Saudi Arabia, not Malaysia, not Indonesia. They want to talk to Pakistan because it has a very disciplined force. Okay. Now also financing is coming in from mineral projects, and US for the first time has moved past a transactional pattern. And now it's building sustained partnership with Pakistan, which is good news. And I think Pakistanis should be proud of it. The 2025 was a turning point for Pakistan, capitalized on geopolitical fluidity to project itself as an indispensable regional actor. Everybody, all the world powers want a regional actor, which is called a pivot state. Pakistan has emerged as a pivot state both for China as well as America. And in this region, Chinese and American interests are completely aligned. And they are also aligned with Pakistan. And they are kind of misaligned with India. I think you're getting my drift. The overall trajectory indicates Pakistan's strategic comeback, driven by geography, diplomacy, and demonstrated capabilities, has positioned ahead in key international perceptions as compared to its neighbors. Now, for some of you, you should also note that there's going to be direct flights between Karachi and Dhaka. Wow, we're going to be back in game again. Now let's talk to the next big thing. I think you already know that Ukraine is going towards collapse or a peace with Russia. So we don't know which one, but we have projected that they will be more or less collapsing by end of December. Now Russia has advanced quite a bit, but the strategy has been more to kill more Ukrainian troops than take territory. So it looks like Russia is going to go forward in attacking and take Donetsk. That's what they want. It's a Russian-speaking portion of Ukraine. So that's what they're shooting for. And I think this pressure on Ukraine is going to go forward. And even Trump has said privately in words to Mr. Zelensky that either you come to peace table or you're really going to lose Ukraine as a whole. So things are getting pretty desperate for Ukraine. There's a lot of bravado from the Europeans, Ukrainians, and the rest, and the media they have. But the reality zone is Ukraine is getting a hammering beyond normal. If they had no support from Europe, they would have been gone. Now, Europeans are also miscalculating that America will stand by, and if we keep the fight going on, America will not. America has to move on to Iran. And that's what Netanyahu was there for. And looks like this is the 5th trip Netanyahu has made to the White House at Mar-a-Lago. And he's come with an agenda emphasizing Iran and asking for more massive aid package, more anti-rocket systems, and funding for more rockets from Israeli military industry. In fact, they're looking for interceptors to take down the current 2,000, 2,500 Iranian missiles. As soon as they've got the required amount, they're coming for Iran. Now, we'll discuss a little bit more and then we'll do a little projection here. Israeli leader Netanyahu long argument that they want regime change in Iran and bring in Shah's son there. Majority of the Iranians do not like the Ayatollah regime, but they definitely don't like the Iranian Shah of Iran leftovers. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of deal for the Iranians. And Mr. Mahmoud Pezeshkian warned that the conflict has expanded to limit exchange. In my opinion, he said, we are a full-scale war with the US, Israel, and Europe. Now, the thing to remember here is he has said Israel, US, and Europe are on one page, and they're coming for Iran. So our projection is, as Trump is saying, threatens to knock the hell out of Iran. Now, what exactly are the trigger points for Mr. Trump? Number one, the 400 kilograms or 450 kilograms of uranium, unaccounted for. No IAEA inspection, so that's pretty bad. That's about 8 to 10 bombs. Then they're saying we have got intercontinental ballistic missiles and we can hit everybody, Iran and Washington, D.C. And then they turn around and say, oh, we didn't really mean that. But anyway, that noise is taken seriously. And Europeans and Americans want to put an end to this. President Trump was very clear in the red lines. He said, US will carry out further military strikes against Iran if it attempts, not if it does, but if it attempts to rebuild its nuclear and ballistic missile programs, which it is in process right now. Ballistic missile for sure. They've been importing all that stuff from China, the fuel and stuff, and Americans have been interdicting it. And if it is confirmed, he says, Iranians know the consequences, and consequences will be very powerful, more powerful than the last time. We will knock them down, we'll knock the hell out of them, but hopefully that's not happening. So it looks like there's something going on in the background. And Mr. Trump said he will absolutely support Israeli military action against Iran's missile program. And US would act immediately against any nuclear advances. What they're saying is there's not much room there left. And he said, we know exactly where they're going, what they're doing, and I hope they're not doing it because we don't want to waste fuel on B-2s and a 37-hour trip both ways. So he's saying is, I think they better cut it out, come to a deal, because he doesn't want to waste fuel. That's a very derogatory way of saying dealing with Iran. He said it'd be much smarter for Iran to make a deal with Washington, claiming Iran missed an opportunity the last time before we went to the big attack on them. Now that means the gloves are off. They're coming. And in the next, I think, few weeks or months, they're going to go for Iran. Now, also another thing to watch here for is the Iran-Israel espionage war, the intelligence war. Iranians seem to be saying that we hanged a guy and caught 2,000 individuals, we've broken the network. But what's really important here is the intelligence conflict has become overt and has come out in the public eye. So apparently they felt very strongly to bring it out in public what they're doing in the intelligence-wise, which means it's a weakness, as well as they may have success, but I don't think the public is buying it or not buying it, but I think it's mostly internal consumption. Whether actually they're winning the intelligence war or not, that's a whole different issue. Now we'll go on to what India is up to. Apparently, Pakistani security forces and some other international agencies have said India is allegedly arming TTP through the Kabul airport. Now, in a, this is a very startling revelation because India to cargo and passenger flights occur between India and Kabul. And one of the precepts is that they don't put in arms and dangerous cargo on it. Now, if it is found out, there could be serious consequences for both, actually. And they're saying that TTP is getting arms from India at the Kabul International Airport. That's really international, okay? According to these claims, cargo is discreetly loaded onto the passenger flights operating once or twice weekly, bypassing standard security. The mechanism of allied transfer via passenger flight adds a layer of sophistication to these accusations. So some guy running around, this is just baggage, and I've got 2 extra bags and this and that, and everybody looks the other way, and they kind of go on for that. Now, note, Kabul International Port under Taliban handles limited international traffic, including flights from India. Not everybody flies to. Aviation data for flight radar, which is available to everybody, shows Air India operations to Kabul averaging 1 or 2 weekly, while they are primarily passenger services. Cargo hold capacity to accommodate discrete shipments. However, sources claim surveillance detected anomalies in cargo manifest, therefore suggesting hidden military grade equipment. Well, so it is. Now, what about we get to the real question? What's going to happen between Pakistan and Afghanistan? Now, we know India is preparing over 60, 70, $80 billion worth of equipment, all of it coming and get operationalized around the March, April timeframe. So they're going to come from Pakistan. Remember, they lost face globally big time. They were humiliated globally big time. They are spending 70 to 80 billion dollars, and their equipment is coming in around March, April. They have $20 billion worth of electronic warfare equipment coming in from Israel. This is serious business. And all of it is one target, Pakistan. So they're going to be coming in around that time frame. I think if we can wrap up the Afghan issue before that, would be good. Now, let's talk about what the wrap up means. What is expected by analysts, not me, security analysts. I'm a student, I'm not an analyst. But from analysts, they say Pakistan will intensify its aerial operations in Afghanistan with more frequent air and drone attacks. The second element of Pakistan's strategy is influence over the Afghan factions advance this Tepa Canal project, create some irrigation network, so TTP moves over there and settles down and become peaceful. And I think that's just pie in the sky. Those guys are not peaceful guys. Those guys have got one mission in life, and I don't think they're going to this can be turned off. I think the means of turning them off, I'm not going to get into it. The third component of strategy involves sustained air and drone strikes in southern Afghanistan, aimed at denying TTP safe operating space in the region by rendering southern Afghanistan increasingly inhospitable. Well, they don't want to allow them to sit around and enjoy parties and recoup and come back. And what they're going to do is they're going to go for them, both from air attacks or special operations. They're going to be happening. Because Pakistan does have a very strong intelligence and special operating capability in Afghanistan, and they're going to exercise it now. Now, this may push the TTP further inward, which is fine with us, with less chance they're going to attack inside Pakistan. The fourth stage involved supporting select anti-Taliban groups in Afghanistan, particularly Takr, Baziksha, Panjshir, aims to create an active internal battlefield that draws TTP fighters into confrontation with groups such as National Resistance Front, Afghan Freedom Front, and diverting their focus from attacks on Pakistan within, and this strategy relies on the premise that Afghan Taliban will require TTP support. Of course they will. Afghanistan is definitely making TTP a tool for internal Afghan conflicts, while NRF, AFF currently weak and unable to mount significant. Pakistan hopes to shift this balance by providing logistical support, intelligence, air cover, and both NRF and AFF have established offices within Pakistan, signaling further steps toward the strategy. Do remember the Afghan Pashtun Taliban are only 16% of the population, total of 42 million. The rest of the guys are non-Pashtuns. So 16 million are Pashtuns out of the 42 million. The rest guys are not Pashtuns. But they have been cut to size because of Pakistani support for the Afghan Taliban. Now Pakistan is changing with help of Turkey that strategy, and Turks are very influential with the non-Pashtun in Afghanistan. Now, one other thing to mention here is Pakistan has grown weary of Qatar's role in post-Afghanistan. They think Doha's engagement, Emirate, is misaligned and potentially detrimental to Pakistani interests. Pakistani security interests now understand Qatar is supporting Afghan Taliban, undermining Pakistan's interest in Afghanistan. Now, we all know the differences between Afghanistan and Pakistan are hard to reconcile because of the nature of the Taliban, whether it be TTP or be the otherwise. Okay. Now, what is going to happen, and Pakistan understands that the only option they have is regime change in Afghanistan. So with that, I will now bring Sher Bano to the forefront and see how she can make me uncomfortable. Hello, Sher Bano. Welcome, and long time no see. Can you hear me? Hello, Sher Bano. Can you hear me? Hello.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Kya haal hai aapka? Theek thaak? All yours for questions, Sher Bano. Go
Hello.
ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You can ask
Yeah.
the
So can you
question.
hear me?
Sher Bano, your connection is a little bit weak on your side, and we can't hear you here. Hi, Sher Bano. Hello. I think we lost you for a while. Can you hear me, Sher Bano? Hello.
Gee, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you
Hello.
now. Go ahead. You can ask.
All right.
Hello.
Gee,
Yeah.
assalamu alaikum. All right. So, all right. Let's move towards the point. So, in a world already stretched by wars, sanctions, and fractured diplomacy, who draws the red line and who dares to cross them? So, let's break it down. Starting up with the US, Israel, and Iran. Is Trump's open support for a new strike on Iran a genuine deterrent strategy or a signal that diplomacy is officially dead?
No, I think what officially dead, diplomacy is never dead. But can the present impasse be resolved by diplomacy? The answer is no. Iran does not want to give up an enrichment. They want to keep the 400 kilograms or 450 kilograms. They don't want to give up the missile program. And they're saying they got ICBMs hitting America, Washington, D.C., and all over Europe. And Europe, America, Israel is saying is, And this time we will hit you so hard, much harder that you will really. And Israel is getting so confident, they're saying we will replace him with Shah Fransan. So they're bringing that stuff back on. So now I think Iran is again miscalculating, and this time I think it's going to be pretty catastrophic for them. And I think you got to remember again, I'll bring out the Pakistanis. Pakistan is the pivot state both for Iran, both for, China, America, and a defense partner for the Arabs will have to basically keep the Straits of Hormuz open. And that would be our responsibility. So we still seem to be having a problems with connections with our host. Anyway, Share Bano, welcome again.
Hi.
With your
Sorry, we
first,
are losing the connection again and again.
yeah, go
All
ahead,
right,
please.
let's move toward another one. All right. Talking about a fragmenting global order, with conflicts flaring simultaneously in the Middle East and South Asia, are we witnessing the collapse of regional conflict or management altogether?
I think what you're going through is now basically two superpowers. What Trump says G2, China and
Mhm.
USA. There's also Russia in there too. What you have is a realignment of the spheres of influence. And for some countries, it will be catastrophic. For some, it will be welcome.
Mhm.
And in our case, just got we are putting on to those four areas we are focusing on: Ukraine, Taiwan, Iran, and India. These are the four areas where the conflicts are going to occur. Taiwan, currently already China is exercising for the second day complete blockade of Taiwan. I mean, they could just turn the tap on and that'll be the end of it. America is not uttering a word on it. They're focusing on Venezuela, their backyard. So they're not bothered with Taiwan right now. So what you have is a new world and new spheres of influence where everybody will have to adjust to it. Russia still wants to support India with a big bang, like their 400 BVRs, etc., etc. But the issue is they can't stand in front of China. So what you're going to be looking at in the
Exactly.
Middle East, Central Asia, is Pakistan, China dominating this area. And you're looking at Taiwan, Southeast Asia dominated by China. You're looking at America dominated by America, at least trying to. And Europe getting irrelevant with Ukraine more or less agreeing to Russian demands. That's what's coming. Next
All right.
question.
But do you really think that if Iran is attacked again, will it retaliate directly against Israel and the US assets, or continue using proxies to avoid full-scale war?
Could you say
What
that
do you
again?
comment about that?
Could you say that
I'm
again?
just asking that. Yeah, sure. Do you really think that if Iran is attacked again, will it retaliate directly or continue to use proxies to avoid full-scale war?
I don't think they have much
What
of a
could be the
choice.
scenario this time?
They will have to do full scale retaliation. Their proxies are not worth anything. Israel has already clobbered the hell out of Hezbollah. Hamas is on its last leg sitting
Mhm.
over there. And the stabilization force will go there and disarm them. So I don't know what proxies they've got left with. Americans have warned Iraqis if any of these guys raise their head, they're going to come and clobber them. So Iraqis are keeping those guys in check. So Iran is on its own. I mean, they have to use their missiles, whatever they want to
Mhm.
do. And that's what they're saying is we are in total war. That means they'll use everything. It's a blunt way of saying is we might even use dirty bombs. But if they do,
Mhm.
the consequences of that would be very, very bad for the Iranians. So, next question.
Definitely. So, the real question now is not if the next crisis will erupt, but where, how, and who will be pulled in the next. So we'll be watching every move, so our audience don't have to. Thanks for answering the questions. All yours.
Pleasure. And I'll recap. We're going to keep watching those four areas. And we again project we have Iran is coming up next. India is coming for Pakistan. Pakistan will settle the Afghanistan before it gets too far. Before April, we have to settle that issue. If they don't, they have a two-front war. And enjoy the front. Hopefully, we'll be back in the New Year's, and we'll give you a lot more news by that time. Thank you.